Welcome to Interior Design Diaries, where today I'm talking with my lifelong friend, Sara White. She became a client and was feeling disconnected from her home. We made some major design decisions that took her home from not her own to her own. Let's dive in and see what she has to say. Hi, Sara.
Hey.
Thank you so much for coming and chatting with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Okay, just a little bit about us. We are like best of friends.
Yes.
One of the Fab Five.
Yes.
Fave Five.
Long
I always
time
mess
friends.
up. Long time. High school.
Yep.
Adult life.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get right into it.
Okay.
You and I have been friends.
Mm-hmm.
How was it to hire me as a designer?
Well, I think it was easy because you've helped me along the way with little tiny decisions, which couch or which fabric should I use here, that kind of a thing. I mean, you're kind of the person when I call when I don't know what I'm doing, which is often. So I think just knowing that you're kind of my go-to person anyway. And then when this project came up and we knew that we wanted to do something substantial, it was a natural, what I want to say, inclination, or it was a natural thing for me to hire you because you already knew me so well and we've already worked together on little things. So
Right.
it was a good segue into a big project.
Okay, so if we had to say yes, I consulted, but this project, if we had to say the scope of work, it would be making this house your home.
Yes.
Right?
And it kind of started smaller and then got larger. Would you say?
I think we were trying to figure out what you wanted to do.
Right.
And the timing of everything and figuring out what was great is that you let me in on a little bit of that decision-making process and that you said, okay, well, this is kind of what we're thinking. What could we do for that? And then or on the other side of it, what if we were doing this?
Right.
And it got to be a situation where I could easily tell you from a like real estate standpoint and a longevity and a family standpoint and a friend and knowing how you live and entertain and work and play.
Right.
It was kind of like I could be part of the process knowing you so intimately.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, and I like that you gave me several options. Like, okay, we can put your money into the kitchen and then that's where your money is going to be. And then maybe new floors and then that's it. Or we can spread your money around and do these other things, Yeah. So we ended up doing kind of a combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice that you gave me that option. And then also, it just felt really like I had a say in it. It wasn't just like we hired you and it was, okay, whatever, this is Lindsay's vision and it's off. It was a collaborative environment.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you and I are very in tune with what we like,
Yes.
what we want, and we know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's rare,
Mm-hmm.
as simple as it sounds. And so when I came to you and said, okay, what are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
You were really clear on what you wanted.
Yeah.
And you're like, I just feel disconnected and I want it to feel like mine.
Right.
And Andy's.
Yes. So this house was a family home that my in-laws had owned for over 30 years. So I knew the house really, really well. And the memories we had there were fantastic, but they really centered around my, the family that was there previously for 35 years. And when we moved into the house, I've always loved this house and and it was really special for me to be in the house and keep it and keep it in the family and all that. But it also felt like somebody else's house. I had been going to this house for 30 years and it felt like, well, this is Laura and Tom's house, not mine, not Sara and Andy's house. So
right.
I think when we hired you, the main goal was make it feel like our home and not like it wasn't Laura and Tom's anymore, but also like, how do we fit into this story of this house? And how is it transitioning now to reflect us as a couple and a family, and also keeping kind of the not really the feel of what it was before, but just the
It has a soul.
It has a soul, yeah, and we wanted to honor that, but then also open it up to, a different energy, I would say.
Exactly. Yeah,
Mhm,
that's the thing. It's the different energy.
mhm.
So we did a few things. How did
Yes.
I help you to get it there?
Yeah. The main looking back on the changes that you made to the house, um, right away, I'm thinking of that wall that was when you walked into the foyer, there was a wall that cut off a little kitchen dining area with the foyer. And when you walked into the house before you took down that wall, it felt very closed off and
Segmented.
dark. Yeah,
Oh
it
yeah,
was
natural
dark.
light.
That yes. So, and I never really realized, I didn't realize that that was the problem. Actually, I didn't think twice about that wall. It was a very small wall.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of width, and it was next
Wasn't
to,
structural.
and it wasn't structural. I found out later on that my mother-in-law had put it up because she wanted that room to be a playroom for the kids.
Which is
So
total function.
right,
Which
but it
is
wasn't part of the normal like makeup of the house.
Right.
So she added it on.
Yeah.
So when you took that down and we walked in for the first time, and all this light was streaming in, and it was just like, oh, like this moment of, oh my gosh, and you just feel like you could have had like a full breath because
Yeah.
it was just the way that it felt was so different, even though it looked almost exactly the same.
That is what's so crazy about making the smallest little it's not small. You tear down a wall
Right.
and you put the floor under it. It's not in terms of what tasks you have to do, but it was such a small opening
Right.
that made such a huge difference.
Huge difference.
Even with the flow of the space. Like before,
Yes.
you just had to choose, like you're going into the living room or you're going into the kitchen in a
Right.
narrower. Now it was just like, oh, okay. And the circulation for entertaining and because I've,
Yes.
lived it and breathed it. And that's the best
Totally.
part. I get to
Totally.
enjoy, your remodel and what we did because I get to hang out with you.
Yes.
But it's like now it has just a different flow for
Yeah.
entertaining. And so, yeah, that was huge.
That was huge. And it
Yeah.
was immediate. It was
like,
yeah,
whoa,
it was
okay.
immediate.
Even when they were taking it down, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And thank God it's not structural because you don't know.
Yes.
I mean, you have ideas, but
Right.
you never really know until the drywall comes off.
Until it's there, yeah.
That
and
was
then
huge.
you took off a little part of the wall in the dining area, which was huge too, because it was like this wall that kind of came out. And again,
It was like a wing wall.
It was a wing wall, and it stopped the vision. If you're sitting in the dining area, you couldn't really see the living area as well. And there was a mirror over the fireplace, and it kind of obstructed that view. So
Mhm.
taking that back a little bit just really added to the space and how you're walking around a dining table,
Exactly.
setting it or entertaining and walking around. It really changed the flow.
It did. And it was one of those things where, designers are known for doing crazy things or like waving my wand around, coming in and saying, do this, do that. That's total stereotype.
Yeah.
But this was actually like in like 20 plus years. I was like, I'm asking them to take off like 12 inches of a wall.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, she's a lunatic.
Yeah.
Like, what is the point?
Yeah.
But no joke.
Mhm.
It was like such a huge difference. Like you could sit at the hood,
Yeah.
the host seat, and you could see almost to that sofa.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those moments where I was like, just
No, it was a
trust me. And
trust
the
me
contractors
moment.
were like,
Yeah.
just this?
Well,
What?
I think it's important to note that it was a trust me moment, like trust Lindsay moment, which
For you too?
For us, I mean, it was like,
Yeah.
but it was also an example of how a small detail can make such a huge change.
Huge one.
And so it was, I don't know, it ended up being a really nice room at the end of it and flowed really well.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad that I mean, I hope we didn't give you too much.
No, you guys are great. Are you kidding?
Like flack about it, like really the wall, but it was so nice.
No, because
once it
I
was
just, it
done.
was one of those things where like I intuitively know what to do when I walk in any space.
Yes.
But then the contractors are like, really? And then it was like, really? I was like, oh, this is like one too many people asking me again.
Yes.
Like sometimes I'll do things and they ask me 5 times because they hope I change my answer. Right? Because it's
Yeah.
like hard or whatever, or going to be different than what they normally do.
Right.
But I was like, oh, and it made me second guess, like, oh, shoot, should I really not? Is this really worth it? And I was like, no, like I really took the time and was like, no, this is so silly, but
No,
crazy.
it worked out great.
Yeah,
and
it
I
was
think
great.
the issue was too, there was a little bit of electrical in there because there was a light switch.
Yep.
And so part
It
of
was
the
a lot for a
process
little,
was
but
like,
then we got a
is this
lot.
worth it? Is this really
Yeah.
worth it? And it was.
Yeah,
it was
totally
worth it.
And then space plan, furniture,
Yes.
how you set things up and made your kitchen area work. Because that was a little bit of a sore
That
subject
was-
too. You came from a house with
yes.
an island, and then you had a more like a U-shaped kitchen. So that was a
Yes. With a
change
peninsula.
in the way you cook and
Mhm.
feed your family. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
a 3 times daily, kind
Yeah.
of a muscles have memory thing.
For sure. And then the
An
long,
annoyance.
skinny living room, we didn't know what to do. Oh, I didn't know what to do with that. We had moved
Right.
around furniture 6, 7 times before you came in, and okay, I got this. You moved one couch all the way to the window, put that really cool,
The chaise, double-sided
the
chaise.
double-sided chaise in the middle that everybody
It's like we need a ball gown to sit in the double-sided chaise.
everybody fought over it. Like
Yeah.
they just wanted to sit in
I
it.
wanted to sit
It was
there.
amazing.
I think at Christmas, I'm like, I'm getting hors d'oeuvres first. I'm hungry 'cause I wanted to sit
I'm
in
sitting
it.
here. My spot, my throne.
Yeah,
it
everybody
was
move.
great. Yeah.
Even Dottie likes it.
Oh, even Dottie liked it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the star, and then it just
Yeah.
made the whole room make so much more sense. Mm-hmm.
The other amazing thing about you is your affinity for wallpaper.
Oh, I love wallpaper.
mean, you have such an eye.
Oh, thank you.
You do.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
egrets, the bird. I mean,
Okay, so that was going to be the another thing I mentioned because I wanted that. I don't remember where I said I wanted that. I had bought that on Etsy like years ago, and I kept it.
yeah, and I love
And
it.
then-
It's so good. It
And
makes
you
that
loved
bathroom.
it. Yes. And then you said, no, Sarah, I forget where I said I wanted it. You said it goes on this wall in the bathroom, and then I'm going to paint the vanity.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Are you sure? But we did it.
We
and
did it.
that was my favorite room in the house.
I know. And the chandelier was the original
Mhm.
chandelier to the house in the entry.
Mm-hmm.
That piece is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And that is the one thing not like any of the others in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
that has a story.
Yes.
It's crazy because I look back at my portfolio and it's like, I know the intricacies in the stories and it's so interesting to me.
Mhm.
But when you look at that, it's like, oh, that was the original chandelier.
Yeah.
Like, that's a perfect spot over the tub.
Totally. It
You
looked
know?
like it should have been there, but
Yeah.
it wasn't there to begin with. So you put that puzzle piece together and made it look
Yeah.
like it was.
It worked.
It worked
Worked
so well.
good. So
yeah,
good.
and I loved taking baths in that.
Yeah, did you-
tub.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it
Makes
was
it your
amazing.
spot.
Mhm.
So you can, it's your sanctuary.
Right.
Each of the different rooms. Yeah.
Yeah, and it had that layered look that I like, and you brought together so well. You were able to bring all of these different textures and patterns together, which is an art. I mean that.
Yeah. That's
How you did the powder wallpaper with the egrets, with the flooring, they're all very bold, very different patterns. And you melded it all together so that it created like a luxurious, funky
Yeah.
spa.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Totally you.
From Morocco
Yeah.
by way of Newport Beach.
So good.
Right? But
Yeah.
it felt so cozy in there.
Yeah. And after all of the things that we did,
Mhm.
you felt more at home.
Connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
for
Andy
sure.
too.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
Andy came from a place of, this is my childhood home,
Right.
Right. And so that to him, I just remember him being like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he didn't want to
like a
keep any
completely-
of the furniture that was already there.
Yeah,
He was like,
he
I need
started
a clean.
over.
Yeah, I want this. Yeah, he had the same kind of feeling that
Yeah.
I did.
And the girls, of
Mhm.
course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
love.
Emma's
love.
room. My oldest, she's the reader. She's the introvert. She wanted the library, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and you gave her those deep forest
Oh.
walls and that really rich colored duvet, and she
Mhm.
just fell in love. I don't think I ever saw her again after that. Actually, she just
She
stayed
never
up
came
there.
out?
She just, yeah, that was the nail in the
never came
coffin
out.
for the little cozy room.
So that's a tip.
Yeah, totally.
So if you want your teen to talk to you, don't have me over. Because
No,
they'll
it was
never come
great.
out.
It was great. And I think she felt heard. And I think
Mm.
for a teenager, that's huge. And we were just so grateful that she was already in high school when we did that. So to give her those last few years of something she really wanted that was just for her was
Yes.
really important to us, and you gave
Special.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It was an honor. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so cool to be able to have that. It's a huge responsibility.
It's a huge
And I take
responsibility.
it so, it's my heart on your sleeve or
Yeah.
on my sleeve for all
Absolutely.
to see and hope it functions better.
Well, and that kind of brings me to my next point about you as a designer, which I love, is that you had a relationship with Emma that was outside of my relationship with Emma. But it was nice that she interacted with you personally.
Yes.
And I was sort of out of the picture, still watching what was going on.
Yeah, of
But
course.
she got to talk to you directly and choose
Yeah.
her tile and all that kind of stuff, which was really cool.
Yeah, her bathroom too.
And
That's right.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So, you've now moved out of the house.
Yes.
Okay. So this is an interesting piece too, because now you're a landlord.
Yes. We've rented the house.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And you have uprooted your family, which is amazing.
Mhm.
And now you're renting. How's that?
We're
That's
renting.
a different
Different for
situation.
us. Yes. I mean, we haven't rented in a while. There's a beauty to renting because when you own a home, you feel like you have to do everything and make it your, I need to put up this wallpaper. I need to paint it. So I like it better and all this kind of stuff. It's been really nice just to move into it as is. This is the way this house is. Now, why don't I just enjoy
Yes.
how this is?
Different feeling.
Different feeling.
Yep.
It's weird though that our furniture all worked with it. I mean, the colors are totally different than
Unbelievable.
in my the house in Newport Beach,
Mm-hmm.
but it almost brought in different colors out of the fabrics and
It looks like different
the
furniture.
hues. It looks like different furniture.
Same furniture.
I think that's furniture well chosen if it can do that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize that your dining room is the prettiest mauve color, I'd want to say.
Yes.
It's like a purple.
Yes.
And it makes those chairs look purple.
Isn't that
And
crazy?
Andy can sit in it and not feel like he's in a purple room.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like it's actually really cool.
Right. Whereas in Newport Beach, it looked pinky.
Yeah. They were more pink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's that's the color balance of it and
Yes.
how colors change where you put them in different environments. Which
Absolutely.
is a whole other
whole other thing.
episode.
But the light there is different. It's
Yeah.
a muted light. It's not.
And it's almost like a yellow light. And there's so
Mhm.
much natural light in that house.
Mm-hmm.
So, the next house?
The next house, we're taking our time in choosing our next house because we're probably going to be there for quite a while.
Yeah.
I want to be there for a long time. And we're still toying with the idea, do we build or do we find something and renovate?
Right.
So,
And you're finding your
we've got
spot.
yeah.
But you would take on another project.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love houses. I love, watching you do your work with design. I love seeing things change and grow and become more, I don't know, just more alive and
You. More you.
yeah.
And
It's
Andy.
nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Hope I can do it again someday.
You totally can. Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. It's just interesting to hear all the different, because I've known you in 3 houses.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
Or no, maybe
I
I
think
was trying to think about 4.
4. I think 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have all gotten to you. Like they've
Mhm.
all, you've perfected each house to make it more suitable to you and your soul
you.
and
Yeah.
how you want to raise your family in a space that works and lights you on fire
Yeah.
rather than sucks your energy. And,
Right.
as former yoga teacher,
Former yoga
right?
teacher.
That's
yeah,
important.
Energy is important.
Energy is important.
Mm-hmm. And
I
how?
don't quite get that.
Yeah. If something's bothering you all the time, all day long, and you're living in that space,
Gotta fix
that's
it.
not a healthy
Yeah.
mindset to be in. And yes, changing your mindset is important, but I also really do believe in the power of color, pattern, light, and how these change your energy and your focus. And
Absolutely. And mental health.
These are all the things that make a designer great, and why you're paid the big bucks, so that you can create that the light and the color and the space that reflects who the owner is, right? I
Right.
mean,
Oh, yeah, totally. That's the fun part.
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm projecting them for
Mhm.
them and then building it.
And then building
I mean,
it.
something from nothing.
Yeah. But you also see things in people that maybe they don't see for themselves.
Right.
And that is where your brilliance comes in, because you bring in things and you have access to all of these, furnishings and patterns that, a layperson doesn't. But you're able to take all of that library of stuff and hone it into what would actually enhance this couple or this family
Yeah.
in the way that they want to be living.
Yeah. I have no idea how I do it.
I think it's divine intervention.
Called to create.
Called to create. I love it. Yeah. Whatever it is, I'm grateful for it.
Me too.
Because,
And I'm so grateful that you've trusted me.
Oh, yeah.
And we get to do this together, and have these moments where we really, truly get to see the full person.
Right.
Because it's business and friend and all of it. So thank you for trusting me.
Oh my gosh, of course. Well, I already trusted you to begin with.
Yeah, I know. But it was a huge, it's so cool.
Yeah, on the other end of things. So it was great.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like to find more about me or my services, check out my website at luludesigns.com.